Today I'm going to be bringing you the most crucial progression tips that I have come across here in SoulMask while I've been playing the game. Some of these are going to start off more basic, just to cover all grounds and make sure I've got everything that actually does help you to progress covered in this video. And then I'm going to move on to some more advanced things as well towards the end, some of which you may not have encountered yet in the game, but hopefully once you do get to that point, it will help you to understand what to do and where you can go for certain resources or things that you might need in order to increase your progression. If you do find this video useful and informative, please do drop me a like and a subscribe down below. Both of those things are massively appreciated, and let's jump straight into the video. So first things first, how do you get the fastest awareness strength in SoulMask? Well, it's going to be from mining. Obviously going around and killing things is going to be more effective for getting larger chunks of XP at one time, but going around and mining things like your clay that you can see around my lake here that's next to my base. Also, mining copper and mining tin in the early game is going to get you a very, very good amount of XP and is relatively safe. Things like going over to your medium pits where they are for copper ore, you'll see that it is guarded there. This one is by an elite bush dog, and once you've killed the mobs that are in there, the rest of it you can free farm. And it's the same over here with a tin ore one, and this one is guarded by the Flint tribe, and same down here with tin ore guarded by Flint tribe. Now there is some of these which are slightly more dangerous, so for example up here the mine, as it were, for the copper ore here, which is guarded by the Claw tribe, right next to the barbarian barracks, is pretty heavily guarded. So if you're wanting to go for a lot of kills while you're doing some mining to double up the two highest experience methods for awareness XP in the game, this is a really good place to go. But do bear in mind it's going to be more of a challenge for you and you're going to have to pay more attention, whereas once you've cleared out these medium and small pits, you can just clear out the mobs and then freely mine up the rest of the stuff there with no problem, and it's a fast and fairly safe way to continually gain awareness XP. If you are going to go for kills, obviously go to the camps, and as you're going around, be sure to grab up all of the crystals that you can, those green crystals, as you will definitely want to have them. You need them for a lot of things in the game that we're going to cover in today's video. So next here, we're going to talk about the characters and why you should switch off your initial character pretty much straight away as soon as you've got extra tribesmen. And that is because they are unfortunately capped at level 50 in every single skill. Now you can see here, this is somebody that I've picked up. In the top left, you'll identify this little red symbol, which means they are a legendary character. I'm going to go over this briefly in a second about how you can get these, but you're going to want to make sure that you're getting the red, which is the legendary, or the gold, so that you can get the best chance at higher attributes. You can see this particular character is nothing special, however they are my main fighter, as they do have a lot of over level 90 skills on the fighting stuff there, which is very good. That means that they can get up to this third perk here, and of course on the mastery you can get up to the third one here as well, so they're actually going to be quite proficient in those things. As you will know, with the main character you start capped at 50 in skill points for pretty much every skill in the game, whereas even on this random one that I managed to pick up in terms of Tribesmen, you can see that all of these skills 86, 92, 85, 98, so even if I'm not going to use them for these crafting ones right away, once I switch to a different character for whatever reason, or I'm going to start using different ones, and I'm also going to start automating my base, which we'll touch on later in the video, these guys are going to be great. So unfortunately for now, the initial character's not that good. They have said in a dev blog that they are going to look on basically upgrading or making the initial character better in some way to avoid this kind of what's the point of making my character feeling. However, for now they do serve as an infinite respawn, of course, and they can still be useful because when you respawn, if you do have the toggle on your server or your private world of keep your death package at the floor, if they do die, you can just pick up the stuff again and respawn at the nearest campfire. You can of course respawn even if you die on a tribesman, but we're going to touch on the mysterious stone table you can see over there in a couple of tips time, and that's going to be really important for reviving tribesmen, but you can only do that in a fire night amount. When you're looking out for some good tribesmen to have, you want to look for 90 plus in the skills like I mentioned there, so you can get up to that third threshold for all of these attributes, and if you do find somebody with 120 plus, certainly keep them safe, because getting up to this final level here, you can see it's an additional 8% in either output or speed for each of these skills, and this is going to be really important here. You can even see that the steel tool quality goes up when the crafting tools, iron for that one, bronze for this one, and stone or bone, so you can see that these are going to be really important. early game in terms of craftsmen, in terms of armor crafting, and in terms of weapon crafting, just getting 60 or above is going to be good because that covers stone and bone, and then it also covers bronze. Once you get up to this mid-game section, kind of where I'm at right now, you definitely want to have someone with 90 plus so that you can get the iron quality upgrade, and then going into the later game, you will of course want the steel quality upgrade as well. So look out for those things as you're progressing through the game. If you get anybody with 90 plus or 120 plus, keep them safe. Now, like I mentioned, there is a way to actually see this. If you do go into your skill tree for the mask, you will need to go across here to perception enhancement, and then the skill that branches off from this quality assessment will need to be unlocked. What this allows you to do is hold down Q, and you'll be able to zoom in and see. As you can see there, this one is named Fighter and has that red symbol, which means they are a legendary. It also tells you underneath that they are a skilled hunter, which is great. If we go across to this one, you'll see they are also a legendary, but they are a master hunter. So even in the legendaries, this second one is better than the first one in terms of ability and skill and potential for having those higher caps. But you'll see if we look at a different person that we have here, let's say for example this guy running towards us, he's just got a grey next to him. So luckily for me, he had 90 plus in planting, which is why we've called him Farmer Joe. But he does have a lower chance to have those higher skill sets because he didn't have a diamond next to his name. And you can see this in your clan menu. You can see I've got 3 legendaries, a few regulars, a blue, a purple, and so the higher quality, the higher chance they have to get better skills. And what you'll also notice with these red ones is, bar this guy in the top right, this one's got only positive attributes and perks. This one has got mainly positive, and the actual one slightly negative one you have actually isn't that bad. And then this one didn't do too well, but they also have more chance of coming with these extra perks rather than minuses. But you'll also see this one grey here also came with a lot of pluses and only 1 negative as well. So it is just luck of the draw, but these have a better chance at being higher levels on the reds and the gold diamonds. Now, something quite important in this game is tool durability, and you'll see here that on the bottom of this pop-up window you can see I have 2221 out of 3295 durability. Every single time that you repair a weapon or an armor piece or a tool at a bench, the maximum durability, so the number that is currently 3295, will start to decrease, and this decreases more and more each time you repair them. So what I would recommend is keeping an eye on this, and once it's got to a point where it's gone down quite exponentially from when you crafted it, get rid of it and craft a fresh piece of gear or equipment so that you can stay on top of making the most out of these things. It's worth noting with that you can also alter the deterioration of the repairs and of course the actual durability drain from using these tools in your settings if you are on a private server or you are a server owner, or of course you're playing solo or co-op. When you're going around the map, you will notice these portals, these mysterious portals. The first one you will get to will be this one here in the rainforest, and it won't make much sense at the beginning, but do make sure that you go over to it, interact with it, and actually activate this, because as you get further into the game, you will see that other ones start to pop up, like this one here to the wetland and this one down here to the hills. In order to be able to travel from one to the other, both need to be activated, and it does cost you green crystals to activate them, so make sure when you uncover them you go over and activate it. It will then cost you mask energy in order to transfer yourself and your items between these 2 points. And of course, once you unlock the mysterious stone table, which we're going to talk about in just a moment's time, you can craft your own portal on here as well, a product of civilization that eases migration. Of course, you can make that from the current base towards somewhere else, or multiple of these, in order to be able to transfer your stuff across. But for this, you're going to need, as you can see there, the only thing I'm currently missing, blue crystals. How do you get blue crystals? Well, it's going to be by repeating the fight with the bosses. So over here at the ancient pyramid, if you go and fight the saber-toothed predator again, then you will get blue crystals if you take a skinning knife and skin them at the end to get all of the drops. Now, this does seem to work from both the lower and the medium level one. I haven't tried the level 61 yet, and I also haven't tried this on other pyramids, but I assume that it is the same to be able to get the blue crystals. If anybody does also know some other ways to get blue crystals, please do drop that down below in the comments, as well, as this seems to be one of the rarer resources at the moment that I can't find too often other than just repeating these boss fights. So there may be an easy way. Check the comments to see if somebody has left that down below. Now, if you are newer to the game, or you're just hitting up that mid or even the mid to late game sections, you might not have all of the areas of the map unlocked. As you can see, if I scroll all the way out, I've got a decent proportion of this unlocked, but I haven't got the entire map. But what you can see is right here, where I haven't uncovered it. It's still in the Fog of War. You can see the Wetland Scout. If I go over to that, that will then uncover this next section. And if you're not seeing these scouts on your map, it's not that you haven't progressed enough. Obviously, I've gone over to the desert, which is a pretty high level for me. I haven't actually managed to kill many of the mobs there, but I did manage to get the camp down. And what you'll need to do is just wander into the Fog of War a little bit, and you will see these camps pop up where you can go in, go to the scout camp, and then reveal the map information. Some of these areas, particularly across from the section here in the Northern Rainforest Hills area, is actually fairly low level, around level 20 to 30, so you can get yourself over here fairly early on in the game and actually do some stuff like potentially upgrade your mount or get some better tribesmen. But it's not necessarily laid out in the game for you to do so, so just feel free to explore a little bit and go to those camps and see where your level will take you. So the mysterious stone table then. A lot of stuff in this video I have covered in much more depth in individual videos, and this is one of those things, how you can actually get the mysterious stone table and how to revive your tribesmen. The video's up on the channel, but as a quick version, you want to either go into the Ancient Ruins dungeon right here, which is around level 25, or up to the Holy Ruins up here, which is around level 30, and each of these places has the components for the mysterious stone table, so the actual mysterious stone table itself and the level 1 upgrade. Now you do need the level 1 upgrade in order to be able to do the next tip that I'm going to talk about, but what this is going to allow you to do is revive your best tribesmen. So if you go over to the remodel section, you can see here that you have the ability to have your main character and then 3 more tribesmen saved in here. Now what you will notice is that I have already uploaded this tribesman data, but what you can see is if I press E, I can update the info. Now do take a closer look at some of the stats, because when I upgrade them, for example, the plant has now increased in level, and you will need to continually do this as you level them up. And what this will allow you to do is if this tribesman dies, you can then revive them for a certain cost. Usually it costs you some green crystals and a little bit of time, but if you have the required materials, you can actually revive these tribesmen so that if they do die in battle, you're not going to lose some of your best. So I would pick your best 3, or the 3 that you don't want to lose the most. Maybe that's one of your crafters and a couple of fighters or something like that alongside your main one, and then you can revive these. Again, it may be possible to get further slots than this as you upgrade it to a higher level, assuming that this is the level 1 upgrade. Potentially if there's a level 2 and 3 available, these will give you extra slots, but I haven't actually got to that point yet. But do remember to update the info when you level these up. And of course, if you do want to get rid of one, for example, you can go onto this one, except from your main character, and you can just delete the data. So if you get some better tribesmen that you would rather save, you can update it to save those as well. One crucial thing for progression in SoulMask is not overlooking food. Whichever stage you're at, whether you've got the cooking stove like this one here, or whether you've managed to get up to the worktop, or even potentially further on than this, make sure that you are making some actual food. So you start off the game and you can obviously have your cooked meat here. You can see that plus 50 max HP, 0.5 health per second for 5 minutes. It's not bad, but once you get further into the game, you can make some significantly better things. For example, broth, which you start off with some, and it's good for when you are actually converting some of those tribesmen. But this is also good for the player as well. But you'll see here you can get things like fruit kebabs. This one will give you max stamina, movement speed, less radiation, and it will uplift your mood. Then you can get things like pumpkin salad with more stamina recovery, max stamina, and also again uplifting mood. Then things like your cooked potatoes for much more max load of plus 40 for 20 minutes, and so on and so forth. So you can go through these, but make sure that you get on top of this early on. I didn't get on this as early as I should have, and this is really important. Another reason that food is great for you is the fact you can get things like quinoa porridge, and of course then you can move on to extra things when you get onto the worktop, like the seafood quinoa rice here. And what these will do is you can read it, it says it will give you crit damage increased, but it will also give you body XP efficiency plus 200% for 30 minutes. So that is the character you are currently using, the body as it were, rather than the mask of course. So whichever one you're currently controlling will get 200% extra XP. It's really good, really powerful, and of course some of these things will also help to boost the mood of your tribesmen. So you can see here, anything that says uplifts mood will boost your tribesmen's mood. So if you are struggling to keep some of them satisfied or happy, like you can see here, then that's a great way that you can actually increase their mood so that they will continue being able to work and fight happily. Next thing we're going to look at here is mods. Don't overlook mods, and don't overlook the crystals for the mask, the red crystal slots. Firstly, looking at the mods, you can see you can get a abundance of different ones here. Things like damage increase, heat proof mods, bleeding mods, what you will see fairly early on in the game when you go to fight the Fog Frog is that you will want things like the Poison Proof mod. They're going to be very, very helpful. Level 1 and level 2 variants, and you can of course get up to level 3 a little later on as well. And these are going to be super useful. I like to particularly run the durability mods on my gear, especially when I've picked it up. Like you can see here, these were crafted by plunderers. It's loot that I've got, but I've put a durability mod on so that they last for longer. Obviously you can't repair it if it's not crafted by you, so this makes this gear, this legendary gear, last for a longer time, which is really, really crucial. But like I mentioned there, when you're doing things like fighting the Fog Frog, you will also want to have the poison mods on, and some other fights that I'm not going to spoil too much in this video, but they are going to be super useful. On top of this, if you go into your mask skill tree, you can see here the multi-function module. Once you've repaired this, you can pop crystals in, and these of course are going to give you a lot of different benefits depending on which one it is. You can see here that we've got max load of 12.5 and stamina down defense of 0.5. On this one we've got defense, but you can also see we've got poison resistance again for around the level I'm at, about to fight the Fog Frog. This is going to be super useful. We've also then got damage increase, max HP increase, and crit damage reduction. And then on this one right here, spear damage by 4.2%. Again, once you've got the mysterious stone table unlocked, these are really easy to maneuver. You can literally go into here, go onto the mask interface, and simply move these in and out whenever you want to use them, or swap them to a different mask. Of course, you can only put 6 in there, and it does give you a crystal slot limit, but it's very easy to swap out to what you would like to use or what you want to use and swap them to different masks, so certainly take advantage of these whenever you unlock them. And finally here then, I want to just cover is to properly set up your automation. Again, I've got a full video guide on this if you want to check it out in a bit more depth, but just as a quick kind of once over for the sake of completeness in terms of progression, because this is going to be very helpful. When you get Tribesmen, you'll see them in this clan screen here, and if you hover over where it says the job they are currently doing, or if it says idle, you will see that their skills will pop up and you can see what they have maximum level in each skill. What you want to pick is someone with above 60, above 90 or above 120 in a specific skill. Put them to work on that particular thing. So leatherworking, get them doing the leatherworking. Craftsmen, get them crafting the tools. Armor crafting, armor, and so on and so forth. This will allow you to get the higher perks and higher benefits, but also by having one person level up, especially in things like you're crafting your tools, your armor and your weapons, you have a higher chance at getting these upgraded things all the way up to the legendary red ones, but a better chance at getting things like blues and purples and golds, even if you don't get the reds, above getting the greys. So you want to make sure that your tribe is leveling up. And once you hit around the level 25 on awareness strength area, and you can actually get a granary set up, you can get somebody starting to do the farms for you, which is very, very useful indeed. And this will save you a lot of time having to come back and farm crops if you have somebody doing this for you automatically. You can also set up automation on the animal pens if you want to do so. And once you've unlocked the guard structures, which is actually fairly early on in the game, if you head over to the medium building and scroll down to the bottom, you'll see guard facility. What you're looking for is the patrol route checkpoint. You can actually set up someone to run around and guard your base, or multiple tribesmen to do this, to protect your tribesmen while they are doing things like farming and animal breeding, and to keep your base generally secured. Bear in mind, if you're on PvP though, they can of course be killed by other players if they are outside the proximity of walls. If you haven't set up a wall or anything yet, then this could be tricky, but it is very, very useful to defend from NPCs and also random animals from attacking your tribesmen and your base. So that is pretty much going to be it for this video. If you have found it useful and enjoyed it, then please do drop me a like and a subscribe down below. If you've got any other crucial progression tips you think I've missed in the video, please do drop them in the comments below as well. Other than that, I will catch you all again very, very shortly on a brand new upload, so take care and peace.